ever received a piece of advice that when you heard it, you had to scan the room to make sure it wasn't some kind of joke? Or maybe you received advice and then the situation came up where you potentially had to use it and you realized that it was really terrible. Yeah, not just me. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. I want to highlight some of the worst pieces of advice that I've received as someone in an atypical path and what the actual truth is. So if you're ready, grab your beverage and let's get right into it, shall we? If you are new here, my name is Emily. I work from home 9 to 5. I am doing my full-time master's degree. I am the general manager of a small business, and I also am a teaching assistant at the university. Needless to say, my path is extremely atypical, and in these videos, I like to talk about productivity and just about some advice for people in similar atypical paths. So if you're into that kind of stuff, give me a like. Throw a comment below letting me know what your atypical path is, and subscribe to my channel for more. Okay, if you are a longtime follower of my channel, hi, I love you, but you might be really sick and tired of hearing me say this, but one of the worst pieces of advice that I have received is related to AI, and it is a twofold bad piece of advice. The first one is to use AI in academia, which absolutely not. Don't even touch it. Don't even think about it. You might think that the key to success is outsourcing your brain to something else. The issue with academia is that you're in the process of training to do something well. And if you make a chatbot do it for you, then you're not actually getting the training done. And what's going to happen is that when you're actually tasked with doing the job, whatever it may be, then you're going to have to think for yourself. And if you haven't practiced that enough, then you're going to be, trying to make up for lost time. So that's not a good piece of advice. Using AI in training and in academia and for homework and assignments, don't let the robots do it for you, do it yourself. However, there's a lot of advice out there about not using AI at all. And I want to agree with the environmental aspect of the whole thing. I do think that the use of AI is terrible for the environment and terrible for us as a species in general. However, when it comes to, some jobs can actually really benefit from the use of AI. I work in marketing and I do use AI as part of my job. It makes my job a lot easier. And honestly, AI is terrible for our species, but so is capitalism, and so is the need to make ends meet and pay rent. And the use of AI in my job, first of all, it's mandated by the company I work for. Second of all, it helps me keep more brain power for other things. And so that's a very debatable question, and I welcome all the opinions about it. But that's my terrible advice, was to not use AI in my professional marketing job and to use AI in university. And I'm just here to say no, reverse. The second piece of advice that I've received works specifically for more traditional careers, and I do mean like corporate office work, and that is that working harder than necessary will lead to promotions. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true at all, especially in the corporate world. You need to do what you are asked to do, fulfill it, not be a nuisance to the people above you, and everything is going to go smoothly, okay? And then for academia or entrepreneurship, for example, grinding 24/7 will not guarantee anything. You need to work smarter, not harder, although you do need to work hard, don't get me wrong, but you can burn out while someone who works smarter gets ahead of you while you're burnt out, right? So hard work is good, but overwork is not a strategy, it is a trap. So, not that. The next terrible piece of advice that you will receive, especially from people on the internet, is this romanticization of the grind, of the hustle, at the expense of your friends, your hobbies, fun, and sleep, for example. Sure, you're gonna get the paper out, you're gonna finish the project, you're gonna launch the business faster, but at what cost? Creativity, motivation, sanity, all of that comes from living life, not just grinding endlessly. Your friendships, your partnerships, your network is what is going to sustain you after your current phase of life is happening, after your current job is happening, your current degree is happening. So you need to put time and effort into cultivating your village, right? Also, your best ideas will often hit while you're working out or taking a walk or laughing with a friend or binge watching your favorite show. So don't underestimate the power of taking care of yourself up there and of your friendships and of, engaging in your hobbies and in your favorite activities and in having a good night's sleep. That is good advice I'm giving you right now. Now, another piece of advice that I've received a lot and that I'm kind of hypocritical because that's what I anticipate on following to a certain extent, but it's that the traditional path is the best one always. And especially in this day and age where higher education is less rewarded on the job market, where funding is being cut really drastically for a lot of programs, I'm here to tell you that sticking to the standard path, for example, undergrad, master's, PhD, postdoc, tenure track, or in business, hustle, climb the corporate ladder, whatever it may be, may seem exciting because it's predictable and because it's a winning formula, a time-tested formula. However, atypical paths are extremely valuable, and there are many ways to create a meaningful career. And the world doesn't just reward the straight path. As a matter of fact, if you don't have versatility and you don't have flexibility, you might experience a form of crisis if things don't go exactly the way that you plan. And we don't want that. And the world also rewards things like bold, unconventional choices. So follow your heart and go with what works best for you and remain adaptable to things that pop up in your life. My last piece of advice that I've received that turned out to be not so good is that I should specialize in one thing and stay in there forever. I struggled with that a lot, and I've discussed it in other videos before, but the concept that I felt like people in my life who only had that one niche thing they were about got so much faster, so much more advanced and faster at that thing than I did at the million things that I was doing. So I had people in my life who were only history students, so they were excellent at history and that's all they were doing. And I was kind of jealous because all the time that I spent on my marketing job, on my business, on all of my other side projects and hobbies, they were spending on history. So they were getting further ahead than I was because I was not specialized in one single thing and niching myself into that. But I've realized that all the most wonderful, offers and doors that have opened to me in my life are because I am not niched, because I have a variety of interests and a variety of skills that I can apply to other things. So interdisciplinary work, combining fields, running multiple projects, whether that be in academia or in business, often lead to some of the most interesting and impactful and fulfilling careers. So do not let anyone box you in, and give yourself grace if you're not getting as far ahead as fast as someone who is only doing the one thing, as in the example that I gave you. So ultimately, terrible advice is everywhere and it doesn't discriminate regardless of path. Academia, atypical academic paths, entrepreneurship, creative 9-to-5s, creative not 9-to-5s, regular 9-to-5s, they all face myths. Use AI, work 24/7, sacrifice your life, follow the straight path, so on. That's all advice that is restrictive, and ultimately you should aim to design a path that works for you, that protects your sanity, and that actually excites you, and that works for you. So that's it. Do me a favor and drop the worst advice you have received in the comments. I would love to hear it. And remember, no matter what your path is, unconventional choices aren't just okay, they are actually often brilliant. So thank you so much for watching this one. I will see you in my next video, and I wish you good luck in all of your endeavors. See you next time.